an interesting instrument. Music has been around for almost as long as human culture. So a countless variety of instruments have been created to express, perpetuate, and even expand on auditory horizons. So one such instrument is the ocarina. Ocarinas are essentially portable wind instruments that play a sweet tone. And, ocarinas and their many different iterations are my cultural artifact because they represent a global culture, a musical culture that I've associated myself with. And I identify with it because of their musical aspects, as well as the different cultures that are behind it, and really the different interpretations of the respective cultures. So historically, the ocarinas have been around for quite some time. Many different countries have made their own kind of ocarina, and they surprisingly play very similar. So ocarinas usually are made of wood or clay, and they comprise of a hollow reedless chamber and holes to control the pitch of the note. Take for example this. This is the transverse ocarina, or the sweet potato. It gets its name because its chamber resembles the shape of a sweet potato. This particular ocarina, well, not the plastic kind, but the original kinds, were developed in China a few centuries back. Now this is one of the older designs. Now one of the newer ones are like these. These are called the English pendants. It gets its name because it was originally designed to be wearable jewelry in a sense, or playable jewelry. And it was developed by an Englishman who found out you could make a smaller ocarina by adjusting the holes, and the size of the holes and the number of holes on the ocarina itself. This is another pendant ocarina, but this is not an English pendant. This is called a Peruvian pendant. It was aptly created in Peru. So these ones are notable for their colorful and intricate patterns and designs painted on the front. Even Legend of Zelda, a game developed in Japan, as many of you guys may know, had their own version of ocarina, similar in design to the sweet potato. It's especially because of Legend of Zelda that the ocarinas have become very familiar to a wider audience. Within the last decade, a modern culture began to brew around this ocarina, bringing together people from various walks of life, like performers, musicians, collectors, video gamers, YouTube moguls, hobbyists, sculptors, you name it, and more. They began to contribute to this converging clique. And today, ocarinas are made in professional studios. Some can be sold for hundreds of dollars. And music groups have been formed because of the ocarina. And some are specifically made for performance, and some are just made just for display. And how do I say this? It's the culture itself is flourishing. Honestly, that's the best way I can put it. I myself am a collector, as you can see. This is only a few of the many different kinds of ocarinas they have, and I identify with the culture because it's a musical and creative culture. I myself play some music and do a couple of creative things, and so this has become essentially a part of me because of how I've associated with it. I'll be honest though, I was introduced to it through Legend of Zelda, so we'll talk about different walks of life. But my interest grew past that. I became fascinated with the history of the ocarina. I mean, imagine what could possibly motivate entirely different countries, entirely different cultures, just to make such similar instruments that carry even the same name. So I became fascinated by how each version of the ocarina is made. And it opens up a little window into the origin cultures, the decisions they made on this thing, the aesthetics they chose, the tone that it makes, even the feeling of how you play it. And a lot can be said just from looking at an ocarina. I mean, it's sure, like, the influence on, the ocarina's influence on the culture started out very small and very separated, but now it's very unified, it's very diverse, it's flourishing. So, sure, it's just an instrument, but it represents a very rich culture that spanned all across the globe. So, that's why I like the ocarina. I mean, each one, as small and as simple as they are, have a story to tell.